Slice the bone.
Hear the echoes of the valley! You can't run! Shiver! Pyroclastic surge!
This was well done. Send this quickly. You need to hurry up.
Incinerate! Rev the engines! Let the mountain's veins boil! Time to shine! Strike a pump! Yeah!
Flash frost. Have a load of this.
Wrath from the sky!
Onward, friends. Onward.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Alright, so I have been playing some DPS Mavuika over the past week or so, and I think I've finally found some team variations with characters that I have that I seem to be enjoying. So today I want to give my thoughts on these teams as well as some considerations that need to be made when you're playing them, because I don't have Citlali. But first, don't forget to subscribe, right? This is, of course, video number 5 in my ongoing series of videos looking at the various team archetypes with Mavuika. I think my next video would probably be focusing on the Morlani team, as well as, I suppose, variations of the Morlani team. So hitting that bell icon should get you notified when that video comes out. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. As everyone knows, Mavuika has 2 particular DPS archetypes to play with, namely Melt and Vape, and obviously these require different characters, so we're going to be looking at both of these different archetypes because the teams that I am using for these 2 archetypes are in fact very different.
Scratch it! Shake it and stir it! My guiding stars, don't be scared! Wrath from the sky! Incinerate! Incinerate! Scratch it! Shake it and stir it! The night is cold, cold. My pyroclastic surge!
Alright, let's go through my current version of a Melt team because, like I said, I still don't have Citlali. I lost my 50-50 and I got C2 the higher. Probably not going to be using my guarantee right now. I probably will be saving it until Jensen shows up. Now, looking at the characters I do have to play with though, I've landed on a team with Xilonen, C6 Diona, and it's rather important that she has C6, and of course Rosaria. Now this is of course a team that is very circle impact because, well, we have both Diona and Rosaria's ults, but it doesn't feel nearly as bad as some circle impacts. Now, it's a team where I actually get to utilize lesser used characters like Diona and Rosaria again, so that's really, really cool. So with this team we have double Cryo. Now this is important because both Diona and Rosaria by themselves doesn't seem to be enough Cryo for Mavuika. But with that we also get the Cryo Resonance, which of course is plus 15% crit rate on top of Rosaria's crit rate buff depending on the build that you have. For my Rosaria it is roughly about plus 14%, if not actually plus 15% extra crit rate as well. So considering that we also have the Obsidian set running on Mavuika, this is actually a rare team where it seems to me a free-to-play weapon like Baled Flower ends up being stronger than a Battle Pass weapon like R5 Serpent Spine. So that's kind of hilarious right there. And naturally, because there's a lot of EM coming from, in this case, both Baled Flower and C6 Diona, an attack sand is actually going to end up being a little bit stronger than an EM Sand, at least in my experience. Now, as Jeff suggests, the combo that does seem to be working for Mavuika's DPS phase after you use her ult seems to be waiting for a bit, you could potentially jump, and then you start spinning with the motorcycle. And then it's, of course, C3 final hit, I believe is the notation that the community may be using. So you spin 3 times and then you do the final hit. Then spin 3 times and do the final hit. That way you don't necessarily do too much pyro app through just pure spinning. And hopefully, as you can see through this footage, without a doubt this is probably the most readily accessible Mavuika hyper team in the game. Of course, if you don't have Xilonen, then you're going to have to run Kachina, and look, it works. Obviously, Kachina is not going to be as strong as Xilonen, but it works. So there we go. And of course, you can still get most of your fighting spirit back with someone like Kachina. This team does seem a little bit more difficult to execute than Vape teams, but I suppose that's par for the course at this point. It certainly results in more damage though, at least from Mavuika. So being able to use these seemingly very underused characters is something that I highly appreciate.
Gotcha. Busted. Here comes the catch. Wrath from the sky!
Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, we have two Vape teams that I actually have been enjoying because there's two Vape playstyles that I have been enjoying a lot. And that is, of course, either the usual spin to win that I think everyone has been talking about, or Mavuika's chaotic normal attacks as part of her motorcycle. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, Mavuika's chaotic normal attacks don't do as much damage as her spin to win. But some people get bored of spinning to win and they want to play chaotic normal attacks because you can actually do a whole lot of things if you don't try to just optimize her damage rotation. You can actually just go crazy. So, what do I mean by these chaotic normal attacks? Well, it really just depends on which Hydro character you choose to bring, because sometimes I actually bring Yelan with my Mavuika Vape team, and that means I'm kind of more incentivized to just keep normal attacking and do crazy things while normal attacking. Of course, there is a way to actually still do your charge attack combos with Yelan on the team. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm just saying right now, I'm not a huge fan of it. Right. I also obviously won't be doing as much damage as if I were to bring Arlecchino onto the team, so Arlecchino has not been power crept, at least in my experience, but I haven't fully leveled up Mavuika's talents yet. The difference is, as far as I can tell, large enough that the 2 extra talent levels that I'm missing on Mavuika should make up for that at the present moment. Coupled with the fact that I haven't really found an opportunity to weave in, let's say, additional Sara buffs in a team like this, yeah, I'm going to say that Mavuika really isn't power creeping Arlecchino, at the very least as a normal attack DPS. When you are doing those normal attacks, you can also do plunge attacks. Why not? Because Mavuika, especially during the Crucible of Life and Death, well, she has infinite phlogiston, or infinite night soul, which basically means that you can jump, you can sprint, you can dash, you can do everything you want, and charge attack as well if you want. So when I say that her normal attack playstyle is chaotic, yeah, that's what I mean. And with someone like Yelan, you should be able to maintain a Hydra aura that's fast enough that you can just keep doing chaotic nonsense and essentially play like a Devil May Cry type gameplay. So if that's something that interests you, well, I think you're going to have a lot more fun with Mavuika than some people seem to have with Mavuika. And at the end of the day, having fun is, I think, the more important thing than doing optimal damage. Otherwise, if I were to bring Furina, then charge attacking is, of course, going to end up being the way to go. You could potentially play chaotic normal attacks with Furina, but due to Furina's Hydro app not being as reliable as Yelan's, I think the stable way of just doing charge attacks is probably the way to go. Now, what I have noticed is that if I were to play Vape Mavuika with, let's say, Furina, then we do have some very interesting considerations. So, against single target, what I've noticed is that bringing an attack buffer like Sara ends up being a little bit better than, of course, bringing someone like Sucrose. Because unlike the Yelan team, I can find ample moments to weave in Sara and Xilonen's buffs in order to refresh them, since we're playing with Furina. Remember, Silent Solitaire lasts for half a year. Meanwhile, the Electro app from Sara's tap skill, well, there is one problem with it, that it can sometimes interfere with Hydro auras. So what I've found is I have to kind of run back a little bit just to create a bit of space between Sara and whoever I'm attacking in order to make sure that I don't interfere with at least Furina's Hydro aura. Now, against AoE, for example, the Natlan artifact domain, Sucrose actually ends up being my buffer of choice. And the reason why is because there's a lot of enemies. And when you're going up against a lot of enemies, well, you have AoE Pyro app from Mavuika's skill, and it's within an area, whereas Furina's Hydro app is only AoE from Mademoiselle Crabaletta. So what I've noticed is that you can double swell. When was the last time you double swelled? if you are an international player, then okay, fine, you'd be double swirling all the damn time. But if you're not someone who's been playing international a lot, well, this is one of those rare moments where you can actually play, well, double swirling teams. So there we go. So this is basically how I'm kind of clearing the Obsidian domain a lot these days, through the use of double swirling in a Vape Mavuika team. Most of the time, I will probably stick with the Furina variant for the charge attack team, of course, but if I want to play something like, let's say, the Nouvellette team on the other side of Abyss, it would have to be the Zhongli variant, then I will be playing Chaotic Normal Attack Mavuika on the second side or first side of the Spiral Abyss, and it does end up still being a perfectly fantastic option.
Enhanced Animal Module 75. Light of the blazing sun. Incinerate! Bolt drop! Bring it! Strike a pop! Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Wrath from the sky!
The Vape teams have been feeling a little bit more comfortable to play than the Melt teams, and I think it's because I can leverage Furina and or Yelan's damage as well. And at the end of the day, especially during the Crucible duration after using her ult, I kind of enjoy just doing a lot of random things on top of just charge attacking as well. So that's pretty good. I suspect Vape teams give a bit more breathing room to just go crazy, since Vape reactions obviously don't use as much Hydro Aura compared to the Melt reactions, where you basically remove all of the Cryo Aura all the damn time. But those are my thoughts on DPS Mavuika teams, especially since I don't have Citlali. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. What teams are you playing with DPS Mavuika? I suspect most of you are going to be saying it's the DPS Mavuika team, which of course is, say it with me, Mavuika, Xilonen, Sara, and Citlali. I know, everyone's been playing it. It is what it is. I get it, it's very, very strong. Maybe you could consider Sucrose in that team? Maybe? I don't know. Just a thought. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Burn it down!